Okay, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening.
Oh, wait. Now.
Good evening and welcome to the TLC Unleashed Show, Hollywood Vibes, Sports and Life with your host, Tracy Lynn. Thank you so much for your patience tonight. We've had a lot of technical difficulties, but you know what? That's not going to stop us because this show must go on. We have with us Jacqueline Murphy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tracy. Great to be here. Oh, and guess what? We have the power of the voice coming in. So not only are we streaming live on Facebook right now, we're streaming on the power of the voice, which in my personal opinion is what artistry and writing and acting and all the creative arts are about.
Exactly. It's behind the scenes. We were just talking about what you don't see. So this has been actually kind of fun. We've been running around trying to get to the show. So we're here. Jacqueline Murphy is joining me live today from The Admired. I'd also like to give a shout out. We've just, in our spare time, we're eating Buzz Pops behind the scenes. So shout out to Buzz Pops. This is the Moscow Mule. And Jacqueline doesn't even drink, but she was loving this.
I took a little sip and it's really rocking. And on a day when you're having technical difficulties, I have to say, a little bit of
Buzz Pop cocktails came in.
Gives me a good buzz in order to.
Right?
What is this particular drink? The Moscow Mule Sorbet.
Amazing. So there are amazing products in it. What it is, it's an ice cream. It's gluten free and it's sugar free. It's got it's amazing. It's actually full of fresh fruit and you can have different flavors. So there's vodka, tequila, and a whole bunch of fun stuff. So you can find them at Buzz Pop Cocktails on the website. Okay, so go check them out. So Jacqueline, we finally got to do this. She's all the way from New York.
Yes, I'm here in LA, and it just so turns out I'm with Tracy, who I met in Las Vegas at the Action on Film Festival, and her cameraman, Dan Kennedy, and my DP and editor and co-writer, the amazing David Bartlett, who come to the rescue today by letting us leave the W to come to his apartment. So here we are shooting.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, so we've got
Dave.
Cameramen everywhere. We're fully
Proper
equipped
lighting.
here. So it's on. The show's on. You have done some amazing things. You know, what I really love about you, Jacqueline, is you're talented, but multifaceted talented. There's so much to you. Writer, director, producer, actress. I mean, is there anything that you don't do? And it was funny because we were setting up the cameras and stuff, and she's like fully directing. And I love being women in power. You know, it's empowering each other to be better. Yeah.
I don't stop learning. That's what I don't do. I like to keep growing and moving forward, and I like to encourage and empower both men and women out there to be all they can be. The Admired, is a film about your dreams and going for it, and my character Olivia Spencer, you can empathize with her because I think we all want our dreams, but her complexity and contradiction is that she messes it up, goes about it the wrong way, and so she's trying to find how to get it done the right way, and I think we all are in search of how to be better sides of ourselves.
Absolutely. And that's what I really loved about the film. So we went to the Action on Film Awards and we were in Las Vegas, and I go to a lot of movie screenings, a lot of premieres, and the funny thing about it is that, I sat in there and I went, I really like this film.
That really meant so much to me.
Yeah.
I was really happy that you saw it.
Of course. It was kind of a fluke. It was really rushed, and I ended up being in Vegas, and I sat in there, and it's not a lot of times that I say that I really like a film like that, but it really captured my heartstrings. And what I liked about it is that it's relatable to a lot of people, because it is that thing. We want our dream, we want to fulfill all these things, but then there's the devil, then there's the angel, and it's really realistic because that is what life is about. We're one decision away from having a different life, aren't we?
Exactly. Which road are you going to take? The one that is paved or the one that has the pothole? And Olivia continually takes the one with the pothole, and I think we can all relate to that. And I'm now writing 10 episodes in outline with my co-writer David Bartlett, and we're hoping to make a TV series and a feature film out of it. We've been on the award circuit for 6 months, 20 festivals and won 40 awards. So it's been a real blessing. We won Berlin. We won the jury award right here in LA at the Burbank Film Festival.
Yes,
Jeff Rector. We won the Best Short Drama and Best Original Screenplay in London, and I have 7 Best Lead Actress awards. So that's a dream come true for any actor. So it's just been a real blessing, and meeting people like you and the whole journey of it all.
Thank you. And you know, you're very humble, and you just have this beautiful presence about you, and that's what I loved about meeting you, because women in this industry, it's very hard. As we see, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of controversy, you know, the Weinstein, all the people that are coming up and forth, and I want to ask your opinion on what you think of what's going on in Hollywood right now.
Well, I was at the AFM this week, the American Film Market, where, you know, billions of dollars are done for film, and the sentiment there was a lot of the filmmakers were really sad. The world is changing. We have streaming on Apple and YouTube and Amazon and Hulu and Netflix, and the one thing about Harvey, he really kept independent film going. Do I like his behavior? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
They took him down like a lion in 1 week's time, and you know, he needs help. So you know, it's sad to me when anybody sort of self-destructs like that.
Yes.
And also, you know, I think everybody's more aware of their behavior, which maybe is a good thing that came out of this. You know, it's great when we can all act like professionals. Yes, there's chemistry and things happen. I know personally, I've been blessed really never to have anything like that happen to me. I can encourage the young actresses and women out there, you know, don't go to someone's hotel room. Be smart about it.
Yes.
You know,
That's right.
and just use your head about what you're doing and be really proactive. And you know, there's a place and time for everything. So you know, it's sad to me on so many levels.
Yeah. It is. It's very sad. And like you say, just, you know, be sensible about it, make the right choices, you know, don't go into the places where, you know, obviously trouble could happen, and you don't want to set yourself up for failure. So those are the things, just be very mindful, and it shouldn't deter women or even men in this industry to, you know, to stop doing and stop reaching their dreams and
Absolutely
goals.
not. I mean, that's what The Admired is about,
Yeah.
going for your dreams. And I'm a testament. Last year this time, I just finished editing with Dave Bartlett, my editor, and I looked at him and said, hey, Dave, if I get into one film festival, I'll be happy. And here I am a year later, 20 festivals, 40 awards, writing, co-writing, you know, the 10-episode outline with him, and pitching at the AFM yesterday. I had 6 meetings with some substantial people in this business, and I sent them my link this morning and the EPK, the electronic press kit, which is what we have here, that Dave actually, we collaborated on making this beautiful poster together. And you know, you have to keep on going, but you know, just be aware of how you're presenting yourself. You prepare for a meeting, so you know, prepare when you go to meet somebody, and just filter out how you're going to present yourself. You know, I hate to say it, but you know, think about how you're dressing, and you know, all those things go into being. And you know, who do you want to be when you walk in the room?
Exactly.
You know, and do you want people to take you seriously? So interestingly enough, in the episodes that are coming up, I'll give a little spoiler, my niece wants to be a mini-me, a successful actress. And she's even worse than I am. So I have to have these conversations with her. You know, what are you doing? You know, you're just going off the deep end here, and your behavior is causing all these problems for you. But like you said, which is so true, Tracy, one decision can change everything.
Absolutely. And you always have to be on your game, especially being a woman in this industry. I found, you know, being successful in my career that, you know, I always like to say this to people. There's people lurking in, you know, every corner, kind of waiting for you to trip up, especially when you're a successful woman. Do you find that you've had that experience in your life as well?
Honestly, I do feel there is some jealousy. But I remember when I was young, Marlo Thomas was doing an interview on TV, And she was asked a similar question. How do you deal with jealousy and people waiting for you to trip up? And she said, I'm a horse with blinders on.
Yes.
And I know whenever there's any difficulty, like today we had our technical difficulty, I just push through it. Because if you linger in the negativity and what's going wrong, it's like, what's going right? You're in a New York City cab, the guy speaks, you know, some foreign language, and you're yelling at him, take me there. Well, you better get on the stick and help him to take you there, or you aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's, you know, my way of looking at it. I you know, I feel it. I know when someone is there for me and positive. I know you're in my corner and you're a beautiful woman and positive friend and a wonderful interviewer. I love supporting women. I love supporting men. I support my nephews and my husband. And I just, you know, I really, I'm not being Pollyanna about it. You know, I want people to find the best inside of themselves, and that's why I'm enjoying writing this script, because it's, yes, we have dreams, but you know, and I know we all can get carried away with things, so you know, we have to have a little fun in life, you know, or else why are we living, you know?
You have to. It's all about creating that balance, and that's the biggest thing. And so where do you come up with your ideas, and where does the creativity come from? Is it dreams? Is it personal experiences? Is it parts of your life that you just intertwine together?
It's all of that. A funny thing is, I was pitching to an animation company at AFM, and they're also starting a line for film.
Okay.
And she said, I really like your film, and you know, we want to do some live action. And all of a sudden I started with, well, you know, my devil might be able to be a live action, like Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon. You know, so I kind of let my imagination go wild. And when you're writing, you have all these ideas, and when you're directing, then you start throwing them out. You know, so and The Admired was based on growing up. I would watch old movies with my mom and want to be Rita Hayworth and, you know, Gilda and sing on stage. We have all original music, and, you know, throw my hair back like she did and be Veronica Lake with my peekaboo, you know, hair.
And it had that vibe exactly. It's funny because you say that, because I actually, you know, watched some movies with my dad and my stepmom, and they loved those old movies and stuff, and I really felt like I crept into like that part of life, you know, back when I watched that with my family. So it's interesting you say that, because you really created that image for me.
That's so great.
Yeah, like we were in it and we've experienced it, and I've been there before.
Well, someone, you know, yesterday said they love the idea of old Hollywood, because we all have those memories of growing up with our families, and old Hollywood was so glamorous, and so I want to share that with people, and I want to share it in a fun way where you can empathize with everybody wanting their dream, but also what gets in the way of our dreams sometimes. And
absolutely. So having said that as well, what have been some of the distractions for you? Obviously, you know, awards later, getting into the film festivals, it couldn't have all been, you know, perfectly set up and, you know, on a perfect path. So what have been some of your obstacles?
Well, there's always the money angle, you know,
Yeah.
getting finances for film. And all the smart producers at AFM, they were there for one reason, and it was to find money, you know, and to share the creativity. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the funding, you can't do what you need to do. You know, I love my family, and, you know, I need to spend time with them. So sometimes certain things get pushed back because, you know, you need to be with your family and take care of things that go there. But love is my number one priority, and then, you know, finding the right people to work with. You know, it takes some time. Fortunately, I found, you know, Dave Bartlett. Jeff Rector had recommended him to be the editor on this, and I had worked with Leonid Andronov, my first AD. He cast me in a lead role in one of his films. So finding your team, people you resonate with, like we hit it off in action on film, and here I am seated today with you having another fun interview. But it just takes time, you know, and your intuition, you know, who's the person that you want to be part of your team. I mean, we literally called up Dave, and he's Johnny on the spot holding a camera for us.
Yeah,
with Dan Kennedy, who's pretty wonderful too.
And it is really about team, because you have to have people in your corner that you trust, and, you know, to make all the magic. And, you know, I was sharing with someone yesterday, and we were talking about it, and it is a team, because it's not just about us and what we're doing. You know, it's about everybody. Danny Lopez, the fighter, had a great conversation with him on the phone yesterday, setting him up for an interview, professional fighter, and for one of my shows coming up. And you know, he was just very graceful and grateful about it, how he talked about it, sharing that experience of his team was so critical and crucial of getting them there. And you know, you've just shared that same thing.
It's a huge collaboration. I mean, when we shot the scenes in the Cicada Club, we had over 100 people there that day, you know, and we had all the extras showed up, and the crew and the cast, and you know, we were low budget. So my husband, who was played by Steve Carnahan, he went and he spent $400 on a beautiful tux to look like Warren Beatty and Bugsy. You know, he really put his heart into it. So I think so many people on this project have really loved the idea, and I'm grateful you love it. And we've been receiving the acknowledgement and have had the venues, the film festivals, to show the work. And so now I'm trying to take it to the next level, which is another learning curve, the business end of it, and pitching it, and you know, getting the finances. And
AFM is definitely the place to do it. It was a phenomenal experience being down there.
Yeah.
How did you transition from being a successful actress to the writing, co-writing, producing, and directing?
I honestly just said, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
And I knew that I'm a middle-aged actress, you know, and I knew that winners make breaks for themselves, and I always dreamed of doing this role, and I just start writing it down. You know, I read someplace, when there's something that you're afraid to do, just start doing a little bit of it, and then before you know, you've done a little more and a little more. So that would be what I encourage everybody out there to do. You know, just start in a small way and then figure out the next step. I really enjoyed it. It was like putting a puzzle together. Not to say that I didn't have some nightmarish days, like when I just before the shoot, my printer was shooting out contracts and deal memos from people, and it's like, what the hell did I get myself into? I wore so many hats, directing, producing, writing, and being in this. But then you do learn to share that responsibility with other people, which I will do going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And we learn the hard way sometimes, taking on too much of the role.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I love about it too as well. You know, it's about women empowerment. I find that as the years go on as well, you know, empowering women to be able to know that they're capable of doing this. And it's not just a man's world anymore.
No.
And you're showcasing that to so many women and being an inspiration.
So sweet.
No, it's true though, you know, and I love your attitude. And so what would you share with many of the actresses coming up, and actors as well, coming up into this industry and that want to be in the movie industry, and maybe even middle-aged, or, you know, changing careers? Because we find so many people these days are, you know, transitioning and going into different careers.
I would say, don't be afraid. My attitude is kick the door down. I am a survivor. I will figure out how to go over, under,
whatever. Learn that today,
right? Exactly. Whatever we need to do, we do. Within the realm of our moral values. You know.
Yes.
My husband will tell me, I'm married 24 years, together 27. I don't take no for an answer. If I really want to get something done, I figure out how to do it, and in a nice way. But. Just really start in a small way, believe in your dream, you know, be inspired by other people that you've seen really do what you're doing, and read about them, figure out how they did it, watch interviews like Tracy's, and follow people on, you know, Twitter and Facebook, theadmired.com. We have our own website, we're on IMDb, we're on Facebook, JacquelineMurphy.net. You can always reach out to me. I'm happy to give advice or help anybody out there. But just look inside of yourself, and what are the assets? What do you have that are your tools to make your dream happen? That's, I mean, I was a nurse. My mom wanted me to have something to fall back on as a profession. And when I got out of nursing school, I went to acting school, and I worked as a nurse at night. My first job was on All My Children as a nurse on camera and consulting. So what do you have in your toolbox that you could pull out and segue and dovetail into the career that you want? You want to be a director? Well, start out as a PA on set.
Yeah.
You want to be a writer, go, or, go to New York Women in Film, go to writing groups, direct a small film on your camera with your friends.
So how do you, working with budgets and things like that, how do we work with budgets? So we have great ideas, we got cast, we got a great team, we're getting out there. So where do we go next? What is the next step?
Well, sometimes there's crowdfunding.
Okay.
You could put something up on Facebook and send out an email. You shoot like a little trailer, a 1-minute trailer, 30-second trailer, or create like we have here the EPK with all our information, a log line, your idea, and send it out to family and friends and see if they could support your idea.
Yeah.
And the other thing is to try to get investors, or which is the harder thing to do.
Yeah.
Try to find people that will be part of your team that will help you find that money and that sort of thing. Try to keep it low budget. I mean, we did the Admired on a SAG New Media contract. I had an all non-union crew. Some people volunteered from the table, which was started by Mark and Aline Seacray. Dave Bartlett helped me get people from there. Some people have their own camera. Dave had his own red camera that he bought to set one day. So what are the resources? Do you know someone who has, the lighting and the gaffer, and try to start, by writing a list of what you need. Think out of the box.
Exactly. Being resourceful, that was the key. That's what I heard, and I really like that, because a lot of people go, well, I don't have, and we hear this all the time, and I've been guilty of it as well, starting my fitness reality show. I've been working on it for 3 years now.
Look how beautifully built she is.
Thank you. So, and that's the thing for me. It's just like you want to push forward, and you want to be able to know that we can do this no matter what, because everybody kind of stops dead in their tracks and goes, well, maybe I can't do this, maybe I can't afford it.
Can I just add something?
Yes.
You
please.
are heavily into fitness. That's what your show is about. The other thing is that you have to do is take care of your body. Take care of your mind.
Yes.
I work out whenever I can. I try to eat really well. I don't do drugs and, a lot of other things. I really just, who you are now, 40 years later, if you start to abuse yourself, you're going to be that. So,
That's right.
You get the endorphins release when you're working out, and so that really helps to sustain when things start to be a little tougher, but you have to push through it.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you said that, because being a lifestyle coach and teaching people health and wellness and fitness and body, mind, and spirit, we have to connect them all. And that's why people always go, well, I wanted you to coach me on business or you're a life success coach, but you're teaching me about fitness and nutrition. Well, it's where it starts, because we have to take care of the vessel, because if you don't feel your body, your mind's not going to work properly as well. So I'm glad that you said that. And not a lot of people do. We're too busy. We've got this, we've got that, our families. But you have to make time. And I always tell all my clients, schedule that time as you would a doctor's appointment or a nail appointment or hair appointment, and make sure you go do it, because you have to take care of yourself. And I'm so glad that you talked about that, because I was telling her, Jacqueline, when she walked in, she's got this tiny little beautiful waist, and and you're a busy woman. You've got a lot to show for, very successful, and you're still taking care of your bodies and your physique and your mind as well.
Well, I think if you feel good about yourself, you feel good about life and others, and they sense it, and your confidence level. So it's really important to take care of yourself. I mean, I make sure this morning before I came here, I had my oatmeal and then my eggs, because I have a full day going forward, and Tracy does too. So it's really important to take care of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about the next projects. We've only got a couple minutes left. Unfortunately, it was a short version of the interview today, but I have a feeling that you will be back, and we're going to be definitely doing some more work together in the future. So tell us about the future projects coming up and how we can find you, or maybe you're doing a casting call or anything like that as well.
Okay, great. Well, I'd love to cast Tracy in something down the road here.
Yes.
I really would. So my passion is making the 20-minute film The Admired into a feature film, and also this TV series that I'm co-writing with Dave Bartlett. And so we have a 10 episode outline right now that we're working on. And I also have other projects, or two that come to mind. I grew up in Islip on Long Island, and one of my friends that I went to school with wrote a book about Islip Speedway.
Okay.
And then also I'm really affected by the opioid crisis we're having in this country. We lose 143 people every day.
Yes.
And so I want to do something along those lines, so that's on my mind. But right now The Admired is front and center, and you can check us out on our website, theadmired.com, or myself, JacquelineMurphy.net. We're on IMDb, The Admired and Jacqueline Murphy, Facebook, The Admired and myself. And so hopefully in another year or two we'll be coming to a theater or a TV set near you.
Absolutely, I see that happening for sure. Well, and the other thing too is that you had inspired me and remembered that when I tell you those experiences that I experienced, that was coming back from Canada. So when I was watching it with my family, I wasn't in the Hollywood scene. I wasn't in the glitz and the glamour and the buzz and everything. I was back home in Canada, so a little Canadian girl, but you
That's
again.
it. It's that little girl, that little boy inside of your soul that always dreams of being like Steven Spielberg at a very young age started making movies. So, keep that little pilot lit in your heart where you could be all you want to be. And it's those memories and who we are as children. You kind of know what you want to do when you're younger. I did.
Absolutely.
And so I would just say, just keep the light going inside of yourself and believe in yourself. And I hope that you can accomplish a couple of your dreams, at least in this lifetime.
More than a couple. I know that you guys can, because we all need to follow. Like you said, I love that, that little inner pilot of you, and you're navigating the ship and taking control of your life. One last question, Jacqueline. I want to know, as a woman, how you said to me, as your husband would know, that you don't take no for an answer. How do you push past the fear and get through doing that? Because that's a real hard thing, because the fear and the chatter in the mind tells us, oh, I can't do that, I can't do that, maybe I can't, all those little things. So how do you get through that?
Well, I was going to leave them with don't be afraid. So then this is a great question, because they'll say, well, okay, well, what does she mean by that? Well, then think to yourself, well, what's the alternative? If you are afraid, then you'll always wonder. Now I'll never have to wonder. When I won the first Best Actress award from the London Film Festival, I said to my husband, I always wanted an acting award. And now I could put my head on the pillow and say, I've got one. Well, now I have 7. I mean, I never thought that. So, the alternative for me is to feel like that sense of failure and loss inside. So I would want to encourage everybody out there to don't be afraid, and just get that piece of pad out and just start writing down like what you can do to make it happen for yourself.
That's key.
Even if it's taking an acting class, or going to a seminar and meeting a producer, or joining the New York Women in Film, like I'd mentioned, or some kind of a group, Film Independent. In LA every night there's something going on.
That's right.
Get out and go to a screening, and but you have to start someplace.
You need momentum, getting one foot in front of the other, and not listening to that mindless chatter, as I like to say it, because we don't want to go to our graves with that bucket list unfinished and incomplete. We want to make sure we're doing it, and putting pen to paper is where we get the momentum as well in life.
And I'll just add this, when I was getting married, we had a priest and a rabbi. My husband's Jewish, I'm Catholic. And the rabbi said one of the best things to us: when you hear all this chatter, you just put down the car window and throw the briefcase out the window, or whatever messages it is. The only message I care about, or you should care about, are the ones that are true to yourself. So, just let it go. Go to the ocean, just whatever it is, like dump it there. You're done. And stay within your own lane and zone, and your own beliefs and intuition and dreams.
Yeah, my one last key tip that I'd like to leave with you guys is, whenever I get those moments where self-doubt or judgment or anything like that, just absolutely say out loud, delete, delete, delete,
That's
delete.
good. I like that. That's
Take it
simple.
away. Yep.
Right. Yes.
And,
That's simpler than mine.
Well, I like both. Use them both, you guys. Jacqueline Murphy here from The Admired. So great to see you.
Good luck to you all.
Check her out on social media, Facebook under Jacqueline Murphy.
Twitter, at The Admired Film, at Jacqueline Actor.
amazing. Thank you so much for being here all the way from New York City. And she's here on Hollywood Vibes, Sports and Life. It's been a great show. Unfortunately, not long enough, but I know you'll be back. Thank you to Buzz Pops for all that you guys do. www.buzzpops.com. We've also got, we're here every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Well, not here. Thank you, Dave. We won't be here next Wednesday, I promise. But we will be live in the studio at the Power Voices Radio. So every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can also find me at www.tlcunleashed.com. Until next time, make sure you're staying focused, staying blessed, and staying healthy. Love you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.